Hello, beautiful people of the world. Welcome back to Noxious Masculinity, where we're putting an end to the battle of the sexes. And we're doing this by way of communication and understanding. And we're putting an end to toxic masculinity. From last session that we had, we were talking about not telling your woman to fix her emotional problems. We also talked about never ask your woman, "What do you want from me?" And we also talked about learning how to rock with her intensity and the things that go on in her life. As we continue to build and grow on that, you learn in your masculinity that part of your gift and the polarities of the masculine energy and the feminine energy is to never, force the feminine to make decisions. And what I mean by this is you never want to be in situations where you're telling your woman, it's up to you, or I don't care, whatever you want. This is a negation of the gift that you have as a masculine to the feminine. And what I mean by this is that you don't not encourage her to use her own gifts, which is, to trust her feelings and to go with her instincts and her intuition. I'm not saying to not encourage these things, but what you have to learn is that your decisiveness and your ability to make choices right then and there without involving your feelings and emotions is one of your greatest gifts to the feminine. And when you are not offering your decisiveness in situations such as she says, "Where do you want to eat?" And you go, "Oh, I don't know. Where do you want to eat?" Something as minor as that is taking away from your greatest or one of your greatest gifts to the relationship, which is your decisiveness. And this allows your woman to be pure energy and to not have to worry about analyzing things. And when you are not offering your masculine gift to her, which is decisiveness, you take away from the balance that the relationship is having, because relationship balance can be thrown off depending on who's not giving their gift and who's giving too much of their gift and these sort of things. And so when balance is off, then your intimacy is off. And a lot of times this is what leads to relationships, having stages of fighting or, bickering at each other or walking on eggshells because your intimacy is off, and your intimacy is off is because your balance is off. And when your intimacy is affected, the woman or the feminine will cease to surrender, her love and her heart to you because the intimacy is off. And she, you know, um, a lot of her core comes from being able to feel love. And so when she begins to, take away, her surrender to you and to your decisiveness and to your decision making, she then begins to, um, focus on her own masculine energy. And she then begins to rely on her ability to be decisive. Now, when I say that your gift as a masculine to be decisive with her, is not to say that she doesn't have decisiveness within herself, but what takes away from her by being decisive is her ability to just fill out the situation and use her intuition. And intuition involves feelings and emotions that can, help her make decisions. And a lot of times as men, we're not as connected with these things. And so we're able to be decisive and make these choices, boom, on the instant right away. And when she gets to the point where she feels like she can trust in her own masculine energy, or she cannot trust in your masculine energy of decisiveness, she then begins to ask herself, what does she need you for? And this can, cause a downfall in the relationship, and it kind of, downward spirals from there. So something that, you should keep in mind and you should practice is that when situations occur where you want to make her happy and you don't want to make a choice that won't make her happy, you got to learn how to, in a way where they say man up in these situations and trust your own instincts, which is be decisive. Say what you mean what you say, and you give her your opinion. You give her your thoughts, and then you give her the whys of your thoughts. And after giving your opinion and explaining your opinion, you then let her know, hey, I'm going to love you no matter what choice you make, but this is my opinion and here's why. And you never want to be in those situations where you go, hey, babe, it's up to you or whatever you think. When she comes to you or at any point in time, she asks you a question, be decisive. And yeah, so as we continue on with there from, in relationships, and not just in relationships, but in your everyday life, you'll learn in your masculinity that you are, attracted to the feminine, and your attraction to the feminine is inevitable. And a true masculine is attracted to all forms of femininity. And not to say that all of them, but there are multiple forms of femininity that we are attracted to because this is our polarity. And life is like a battery in a way. And, you need these positive and negatives. And this is what creates the energy of life. And so when you're a true masculine, you become attracted to forms of feminine energy, such as art, music, of course, women and their beauty, um, beer. Beer is actually a feminine form of energy. And when you try to hide this attraction to these things that are feminine energy, a lot of times it shows a shame that you have within yourself and your sexual core. It reveals some degree of shame that you have. And what I mean by this is that sometimes you'll have men out there who, try to act like they are very, not aware of the feminine energy, and they're not as attracted to the feminine energy as the world might say that men are. But being attracted to the feminine energy is a beautiful thing, and it is a necessity in your masculinity because this provides the energy of life. A lot of times what happens in life is we kind of misconstrue the difference between being refreshed by feminine energy or energy that is opposite of ours and being sexual. And there's a big difference between these two. um I think at the end of the day, there's only two ways to kind of deal with these opposites of whether, you're trying to be sexual or you're just um being excited by and being refreshed by the feminine energy. And there are two ways to deal with your moments of attraction or feeling like, look at this beautiful thing. You can do it foolishly, which happens in the world a lot. And it has caused a great division between the male and the female in the world, where you over fantasize, you over sexualize, and you have a lack of understanding of your necessity and your need for the feminine energy. And so, because you lack this understanding, you use it foolishly. And then there's another way that you can use it, which is wisely, which is understanding that, yes, I am attracted to my polarity. Yes, I am attracted to the feminine. I can find a woman that is walking down the street to be beautiful. And I can take this energy and use this energy as fuel to propel me towards the things that I'm trying to accomplish. And you'll learn that a lot of successful men in life understand that the feminine energy is a necessity. A lot of times, men that are successful are married or in a relationship or have a time frame of which they spend with the feminine energy, be it music, art, going out drinking, or things of that nature. And when you use it wisely, you become successful. What you have to understand and keep in mind is that your sexual attraction to the feminine and having sex with the feminine are very different. And I will say it again. Your sexual attraction to the feminine is very different from having sex with the feminine. And a lot of times when you grow up, you don't really have somebody around to kind of help cultivate and guide this sexual energy that you have towards the feminine. And a lot of times you equate your attraction to the feminine with sex. And you'll have to learn in the growth, and hopefully you can learn from this, is that there's a difference between, intimacy and, making a choice to have a relation with someone. And a lot of times these relations come with commitment. Intimacy is a lot different from your attraction. An attraction to the feminine is just a flow of energy, and that is all it is. It is almost like a tip of the cap or a show of respect to the energy that God has created for you to, continue on with life. And when you have this attraction and this flow of energy, sometimes you equate it with sex, but it's a lot different from sex. Sex is a form of intimacy, and attraction is not necessarily a form of having sex. You can be attracted without having sex. And when you learn this, it'll help you, grow in your masculinity. And you have to learn how to sustain your desire for the opposite sex. And the way that you can do this is to learn how to, savor in the inexpressible joy that you have for the feminine, but being able to understand that, hey, I can appreciate without being over obsessive of these things. And when you learn that the feminine energy is a blessing to your masculine energy, you won't objectify the feminine energy. You will learn that the feminine energy is, a way to jolt your core to become the greatest version of yourself. It is the battery of life. And hopefully your masculine energy does the exact same for the feminine. And, you would hope that that would happen. And we'll go into more of how to choose a partner, but that'll be for some later session. But that pretty much sums up what I wanted to talk about today is, remembering that the feminine is a blessing and not a right. And, as a controlled man, being able to control the difference between wanting to have sex and having a sexual attraction to the feminine is how you become a free man. And a free man is a true masculine. And this is what this is all about, is helping you, reach the point of being a true masculine and being a free man, and not just falling to anything that comes into your mind and that tells you you should do this or you should do that or you should feel this way or feel that way. So hopefully, these sessions continuously give you something to think about and grow from. That pretty much ends the session. The question of the day is, how do you distinguish between attraction and lust? And this is one of the greatest questions that men can have for themselves, is distinguishing between your attraction and being lustful. And if you can understand and learn how to distinguish between the two, It will make you a more successful. The book of the day is 1984 by George Orwell. Um, I think that it talks about a lot of good things that have to do with your attraction to the feminine and also being decisive. And at the same time, it's one of those books that kind of help you understand the world that you live in. So, yeah, 1984 by George Orwell. And then we'll end the session like we always do with self affirmation. So, say it with me if you can. And if not, hopefully you can just hear it into your spirit. I am. Therefore, I am happy. I am. Therefore, I am loving. I am. Therefore, I am honest. I am. Therefore, I am dedicated. I am. Therefore, I am positive. I am. Therefore, I am favored. I am. Therefore, I am powerful. I am. Therefore, I am wise. I am. Therefore, I am understanding. I am. Therefore, I am purpose. I am. Therefore, I will forgive myself should I come short of my ideals, one day at a time. Thank you for joining. Hopefully, this was a good lesson for you. And if not, we'll be a lot better on the next lesson. So until then, stay suave, stay safe, and be blessed out there.